Oh my god. Why do I do this? How do I introduce a Halloween stream? Kokoro, hello! Hello, Romina! Are you guys ready for a spook? It's fucking spook time. It's fucking spook time. Father, Tony, I'm underage, can I watch? No. You're not allowed. This is not appropriate for anybody to watch if you're a kid. This is not good for the kiddos. Why you not stream, senpai? It is time to get fucking spooked. Alright, seriously. Let's turn this music off. Alright, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Alright, so this is what we're gonna do for Halloween. Those gifts are not going away. You're gonna have to look at them. What the fuck are you doing, mate? I'm on creepypasta.com. And I'm gonna click the random button, and whatever creepypasta we get, I'm just gonna read it. So, you guys better get ready. I don't know if they're gonna be good or not, because again, it's just random. I really hope that we get something good. There's like, I don't know how many on this website, so we're just gonna see. Taste a random pasta. It's me, Goku. The Darkness of Farside. Ooh, this one's rated 9 spooky pumpkins out of 10. You guys ready? You guys ready for this? My name is Jim McGraw. I was the command module pilot of Apollo 19. Contrary to popular belief, there were at least 2 more missions to the moon that were kept secret from the public. I flew to the moon in June of 1973 under the command of Commander Thomas Caird. Our friend, Steve Willis, was the flight's lunar module pilot. The goal of our flight was to be the first manned landing on the lunar far side. You see, word has it that the Department of Defense received information that the Russians were going to land in the Fermi crater, so we made our minds to beat them to the landing in the Sivyolsky, I can't speak Russian, Vodka crater, directly to the east of Fermi. Look at those gifts. Look at those gifts, boys. Oh my goodness. Now, as the CMP, I have a boring yet crucial job in the mission. My purpose is to stay in orbit of the moon while Tom and Steve explore on the surface below. Whenever I swing back to the lunar near side, I'll report to Earth on their progress, as we will be out of direct line of sight with mission control while on the other side. That whole paragraph was just a lot of nothing. Oh my god, this one is so long. This is fucking ridiculous. Read the worst rated ones? This one's rated fucking 8.5 spooky pumpkins, so it better fucking be good. Apollo 19 blasted off from Cape Canaveral on June 16th, 1973. This is more like a history lesson. It made its trans-triggered orbital injection after orbiting the Earth twice. 4 days on the 20th, we entered lunar orbit. Tom and Steve flew down through the tunnel that connected the command module and the lunar module, sealing off both compartments and separate. Like, I'm learning how to build a rocket right now, I swear to God. Can I show you the story on the screen? I mean, I guess I could get rid of these gifts, but that's not as fun. There you go. There's your story. It's not as exciting as you would think. I was hoping I'd get, like, a really bad one. It's not creepy yet. Alright. Let's keep going. It might get spooky. After I checked the LM over through the triangular CM window... Come on. They began to make their descent. The procedure went rather smoothly, exactly as we predicted in The Sims. I know that you mean simulation, but like, if you just say The Sims, I gotta think of the game. I watched eagerly as the LM slowly fell to the lunar surface. Soon my friends were out of sight. As they silently fell to the moon, I heard the excitement in their voices. The closer they got, the more tense they sounded. Eventually, I heard on the radio aloud, "Whomp!" Touch! Tom yelled. Yeah? Touch. He got it. You got it, boys. Look for lost episodes. Those are usually interesting. That's true. These gifts are way too dank. Oh my goodness. Alright. Engine shutdown, Steve calmly announced. For a brief moment, all was dead quiet. Then, when they realized what they had accomplished, I heard my two friends burst out laughing. They had successfully landed on the moon. Spooky! Within an hour, they had completed their EVA checklist, and I gave Tom a go for the first spacewalk of our mission. No time was wasted in opening the hatch. As Tom got closer to the surface while descending the ladder, he was silent. Soon he reached the footpad of the LM and stepped off onto the moon. Still, no sound was uttered. No poetic phrase. Nothing. Anxiously, I waited his report. Honestly, anything would have been fine to hear. Anything at all. Finally, Tom said my name. Jim, do you copy? Yeah, Tom, what is it? I'm down, he said, not quite believing it himself. Wide-eyed, I stared at the last bit of vodka as it disappeared over the horizon. I laughed and clapped my hands. Bravo, Tom. How's the weather down there? You know what, I'm gonna enlarge it so you guys can see it a little better. Just make it easier to read too. He chuckled a bit. Clear skies, no clouds, bright sunlight everywhere. Within 10 minutes, I passed back over to the near side out of communication and Steve and Tom. Last report I heard, Steve was coming down the ladder and was going to do some exploring with Tom in the lunar rover after the planting of the flag, of course. Whoo! Alright, we're probably... The video game ones are good. This is the video game ones are generally the best when it comes to creepypasta, so I'm probably gonna read Sonic.exe, because I mean, like, I have to, because it's a spooky Halloween stream, so, like, I have to. This one's called The Darkness of Farside. You know, I may just... This one is way too long, I don't know if I'm gonna read all of it. I mean... I creamed in terror. Alright, now I gotta read it if it has I creamed in terror as a line of dialogue. Alright, where was I? Where the fuck was I? Alright, sunlight, yeah. That's where I left off, where it said sunlight. Well, if it says I creamed in terror, I think I have to do it. What brings you to this sunny afternoon? Spooks, my friend. Why don't you read one of those extremely spoopy Jeff the Killer creepypastas? Ooh. There's so many good ones. There's so many good ones I could read, but I really wanted to read a random one first, and then after that. If you are a parent and have discovered this site in your child's browser history, please visit the FAQ for a better idea of what this site is about. If you find that this site is inappropriate for your child, please look into ways to block the site on your child's devices. Listen, I already told you guys this isn't safe for kiddos. You better not be watching this if you're under the age of 23. Alright, let's see. Where the fuck did I leave off? There we go. Planting of the flag. Within moments, I had re-established communication with Houston Mission Control and reported the progress of our mission thus far. Over the radio, I heard the thunderous claps of the 50 men monitoring our flight. Gus, our mission's designated Capcom, congratulated me. Capcom versus Marvel 2. But be sure to tell us of what they find on your next swing around, Gus said to me. That's all I can hope to do up here, I sighed. Seconds later, I flew from the near side night into the bright side daytime of Farside. What's the word, guys? I asked eagerly. There was nothing but silence for a few moments. Then Steve said something. Jim? Yes, Steve? We found something. Ooh, it's getting good. Well? What is it? There was a pause. We've stumbled across Apollo 18. Oh, that's not as exciting. I was expecting like an alien. My goodness. I'm a kid. I can hang. I took a sippy of wine. I'm cool. Nah, man. Unless you drink the whole bottle, you're not allowed. Go back to daycare, Romina. Phantasmal. Do you need a burn heal? Jesus, fuck. Savage. Apollo 18 reported to have crash-landed back in February in the Tycho crater on the near side of the moon. With the loss of its CMDR and LMP, the CMP attempted to return to Earth, but the heat shield separated upon re-entry. If the element crashed on the other side, what was it doing here in Vodka? You guys sure it's 18? Pretty damn sure. We went inside to Inside? I cried. You mean, is it crashed? It came down intact? Perfectly fine. but the 2 pilots are missing. There's no, like, thing to let me know that he's talking there. The rover tracks led somewhere deep into the crater. I think we'll follow them, Tom said. It took me a while to process this bombshell. When my craft returned to the near side, I didn't know how to explain this find to Houston. What's the news from Tom and Steve? Gus asked. After contemplating what to say, I finally decided to be truthful. They found 18. Silence greeted this. A while later, he came back on. You're serious? Come on, Gus, don't play games with me. You must have known about this. How in the hell is something that's supposed to have crashed in Tycho located on the opposite side of the moon? Oh my goodness. Another pause. Then it's probably just a failed satellite, Jim. That crashed. I'll read it again. It's probably just another failed satellite, Jim, that crashed. The Jim doesn't need to be in there. One of those entry canaveral jobs. I cut him off. Don't give me some bull excuse from the DOD. It was an LM. There's too much abbreviation for me to really, like, understand. They are vastly different from any sort of satellite. Now talk, I angrily demanded. Radio cutoff was coming up in a few seconds. Right before I lost communication, Gus mumbled, I don't know what to tell you, Jim. Daylight flooded the capsule as I drifted back to the far side. Tom, Steve, what's your status? Over, I said into the mic, obviously irritated. Tony says it as he takes a sippy of his water. Spoiler alert, they're space ghosts doing talk shows coast to coast. Get out of here, you fucking goober. Ooh. Alright, where am I at? Listen, was all Tom replied. What? He's right, Jim, Steve intervened. Listen to the radio. Deciding to play along, I stopped talking and pressed my ear to the circular speaker on the control panel. That's when I first heard it. There was an absence of static, replaced by a nearly inaudible whisper, along with some sort of mixture of sounds ranging from clicking to crushing to smacking. The whisper portion of the sound hybrid was indecipherable in what it was trying to say. What on earth is that god-awful noise? I cried, shaking with fear. Tony says as he burps. We're not too sure, but it started 20 minutes after you lost communication with us, Tom explained. Nothing much has happened when I was on the near side. 10 minutes after I became aware of the noise, Steve said. The rover tracks seemed to be going to the crater over there. As they neared the edge of the crater, the noise increased drastically in volume, almost to a high-pitched shrill. I covered my ears and gritted my teeth. What's happening? I screamed. The noise died down. It's as if the nearer we go to that crater, the louder the noise gets, Tom said. Where is it coming from, though? Where is it from, though? There's no sound in a vacuum, so it must be on the frequency. They had no answer for me. Fun fact, Frieza's race can survive in a vacuum, which is why Frieza can destroy planets while fighting somebody on it and not die, because he can float through space without having to breathe. Nifty fun fact for you there. Soon, I was back on the near side. When Gus asked me for an update, I decided not to tell him about the noises. I told him that Tom and Steve were following the tracks of the previous astronauts, and that was that. Within 40 minutes, I was back on the far side, but nothing was different this time. Vodka was black. Only vodka was black. All other craters were doused with the blazing light of the sun. For some reason, this massive crater was jet black, darker than the night sky. It was supposed to be noonday. Noonday on the surface. Noonday is not a thing. That is not a thing. Like, at all. I haven't heard that since my uncle's court case. Ooh. Ooh. You're hitting deep there. Oh my god, when is something interesting gonna happen? How did this get 8.5 spooky pumpkins out of 10? How did this get 8.5? My goodness. We're gonna read Sonic.exe though. It started as soon as you swung around to the near side, Tom explained. We've been navigating back with the lights on our helmets. We had to give up on the search for the crew of 18. You know, generally if I think like it's high noonday, like if I'm thinking creepypasta, I'm not gonna give it an 8 out of 10 if it's not very good, you know? Like if it's not scary, it's gotta be scary. That's really what I gotta do. I just imagined Star Platinum with a puffy vagina. How fucking dare you? I will aura you right out of this goddamn stream. Talking shit about Star Platinum over there. Alright. The noise was still there. I looked down at the foreboding crater of night. It looked like a pit that led all the way to the deepest recesses of hell. I struggled to see the pinprick of light against the dark that would be my friends. Nothing could be seen. It was like the darkness itself swallowed the light. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. Not until it swung out of view over the horizon. "What's your status, 19? Gus asked. "Vodka is enshrouded in darkness," I said, matter-of-factly. "Why?" The telltale pause was back. Then the bull excuse. Maybe it's some sort of light phenomenon, like how the poles on Earth experience night for 6 months? I switched off the radio. Not long later— why would you do that? What if they need to talk to you? What? Not long later, I was back on the far side. As soon as I entered range of communication with the ground crew, I heard heavy panting, as if somebody was running frantically. Something was definitely not right. "Tom, Steve, what's the matter?" I yelled into the mic. "Tom is dead," Steve cried between gasps. "They got him!" "They?" I cried in terror. "Who's they?" "Things. Beings 8 feet high. They're blacker than the night enshrouding me. These things rise up from the dust. They flipped the rover over and got... Flipped the rover and got Tom. Rise up from the dust? Ascending from the ground to kill us. I'm on my way to 18's LM. I'm a quarter of a mile away. I may make it." "You're not making any sense," I was crying by this point from confusion and fear. "What are they?" Oh shit, stuff is happening now. This is intense. Actual shit is going on now. Before Steve had a chance to answer, he was screaming. I heard him yelling, pleading, begging whatever had a hold of him to leave him be. I listened as the thing tore his suit to shreds. As oxygen escaped, I could discern some sort of sickening crack, as well as the sound of ripping flesh. The last thing that came from Steve was his last convulsive sob, followed by a pop. Then it was over. Spooky space demons! Spoopy space demons! You're on the wrong side of the moon, bitch. Ooey. Let's see. Then it was over. I suddenly heard the strange noise, louder than ever, blaring through the radio. Instantly I switched it off, but the noise continued. I covered my ears until I was back on the near side where it ceased. Switching the radio back on, I screamed at Gus. "They're dead! Tom and Steve have died! Steve said some sort of things rose up from the dust to kill them. What are they?" This time, Gus replied. All he said was, "It's happening again." After that, there was static. Mission Control had ended contact with me. Then I realized they were going to leave me in orbit to die. That's probably what happened to 18 CMP. Either that, or they gave him the wrong re-entry coordinates, causing him to burn up on purpose. They didn't want word to get out of what's been happening on the moon. Well, I resolved to try. Man, is this Alien but worse? You know? That's a good way to put this. This is Alien, but like, not as good. When I swung back around the far side, the noise was back to a quiet whisper. Soon, I reached the optimal time to make a burn to send the ship home. I switched on the rocket. Nothing happened. I began to laugh hysterically. I came to the conclusion that anticipating this would take place and not wanting to risk us spreading word of what happened, the NASA supplied us with insufficient fuel to get home. There was no hope of returning to Earth. This transpired 2 days ago. Since then, I've been sitting here contemplating what to do. Really? It just ends there? Really? Like, the alien doesn't even get him or anything? How did this get an 8.6 out of 389 votes? Alright, guys, what would you vote this? What would you rate this out of 10? What would you guys rate this? Just a completely random one. That was fucking bullshit. Boo. Boo is right. What would you guys rate this? I'd rate it like a 3 out of 10. 3 at the highest. Can I rate it? I don't have an account or anything. I don't think I can rate it. I rate this 3 spooky skeletons. Not even spooky. That was not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. When is my Chris Chan stream? It's at 9. We're doing Quiplash from 7 to 9. Or at the very least, it'll be like 7 to 8 probably. And then we'll do Chris Chan at 9. I do not give this an 8.6. This gets a 3. That was embarrassing. Alright, let's find Sonic.exe. You know, let's just type in Sonic. You know, we'll type in Sonic.exe and see if we get anything else. Where is it? Deleted page? Someone deleted it! Troll pasta. Alright. Due to the poor quality of this story, we've decided to remove it from our site in order to clean up old and subpar content to make way for much more new and higher quality content. Are you trying to tell me that Sonic.exe is not the best fucking shit ever written? How fucking dare you? Sonic.exe. Look at that cover image. Isn't that good? Isn't that good? Some good shit. Alright guys, let's read an actual high quality pasta. I don't care what that other site says. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody likes the newer games, except for Generations. That was good. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though. I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. Dun dun dun! It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I liked how you get to explore the towns in it, until I noticed out of my... You know, I didn't think Sonic Unleashed was the worst Sonic game. Everybody says it's really bad, but, you know, could be worse. Till I noticed out of my peripheral vision that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle, let's just call him that, whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his handwriting, though what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. Why is Gandhi over here? Gandhi, what are you doing? I don't need a walkthrough on how to play Gandhi. Bullshit. You are gay. Yeah? I gotta take a sippy. Remember that was the shit and all the gameplay channels were playing the Game Maker game? I remember that when all gameplay channels were playing Sonic.exe. I totally remember that. Gandhi.exe. Oh my god. Please post this to YouTube after this. Oh yeah, I intend to post this stream in like a special thing just for like, for my weird streams that are like one-offs. If you want a good short pasta, then read Lost Episodes. Ooh. I might read Tales, the Tales doll, just cuz. I might read more .exes because those are always horrible. Alright. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late. And I was hoping you'd do it for me. Don't put your problems on other people, Tom. That's fucking... You're Kyle, that's rude. I can't do it. He's after me. And if you don't destroy this CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Blooper! Blur speeds by Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, how does that song actually go? I don't know the entire lyrics to that. I just know Blur speeds by Sonic the Hedgehog. That's all I fucking know. My god. Please, Tom. Destroy this godforsaken disc before it comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc and you'll destroy him, but do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it, please. Kyle. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. I didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong. Anyway, I looked at the disc and it looked like any ordinary computer CDR disc, except it had black marker written on it. Written Sonic.exe, and it was much... I always like to call .exe files .extensions because it makes my friend aggravated. Because he's like computer buff. So just say that if you want to piss people off. Blup sped by Sonic the Hedgehog Mixes poop with saliva till it's a foam. I don't remember. That's from a video about Sonic the Hedgehog. I think it's called like Realistic Sonic. It's a good video, you guys should check it out. I think I actually could sing the entire song. Let me see if I can remember it. No, I'm not gonna sing. I kinda want to though. And it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from someone else, like a pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited and wanted to play it since I'm a big Sonic fan. I went up to my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the game. That's a very long run-on sentence. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome, because like I said earlier, I like the classics. Did he say that? I don't recall him saying that. If I recall you said, but I don't mind playing the classics. Not that you like them. There's a there's a difference between the emotional tones you're trying to do. Alright. Let's see. Okay. I went up to my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the... Yeah, okay. Yada yada classics. The first thing I noticed was that was out of place is when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw the title image turn into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666. That's how you make your creepypastas like legit, you know? That's how you do it. 666. And the water had turned red like blood, except it looked hyper realistic. Alright. If you want to make your creepypasta complete trash, add the word hyper realistic to everything. Like if you say if it's like a video game creepypasta, to say something like and then the GTA, then Nico Bellic became hyper realistic. Like that's how you just fucking fuck up everything. It's bad. But the freakiest thing that was in that split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with two glowing red dots staring right at me, and his smile had stretched up wider to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black, I stayed like that. It stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so, and then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, what the fuck? What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was the dark cloudy sky of the Bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD, and there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns of Winter music from Earthbound, only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. And the image for the save file where you see a preview of the level you're on is just red static for all 3 levels. Or files. Ooh, I'm hyper realistic, guys. I'm gonna come through your computer screen and eat all of your waffles and probably butter, because butter goes really good with waffles. Ooh, hyper realistic waffle butter. Spooky. Alright. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now I was sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hacked game! Ooh. Ooh. Hacked game. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least I tried not to be. I told myself that it was just a hacked game and there's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling I felt, I picked File 1 and chose Tails, and when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds and I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like the Kelfka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more, then it showed the typical level title thing, except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red, and the text showed only Hill Act 1. The screen faded in, and the level title vanished, revealing Tails and the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing and had Tails start running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into slow, deep tones. Very slowly as I kept going. Ooh, the spookiest shit. I would have picked Robotnik first, honestly. Like, if I was gonna pick a character there, I'd pick Robotnik every time. I suddenly saw something and I stopped to see what it was. It was... Oh, did I skip a section? No, I didn't, okay. It was one of the small animals lying on the ground, bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before. So I had him move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers, and he moves past more dead animals. I was shocked to see that they had all died. They looked like somebody killed them in a rather gruesome way. A squirrel was hanging on a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck has his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. How could you see all that with, like, pixels, you know? Like, pixelated things are, like, real small. It just doesn't go like this. Like, you wouldn't be able to... Like, you'd look at something... It's kind of like... Okay... It's kind of like the old Atari games where, like, you don't know what anything is, you just have a basic idea of what it could be, and you just, like, you know, look at it, and you're just like, what is that? This is basically Luigi's Mansion, but, like, instead of Luigi, it's Sonic. This is pretty much Nintendo ripped off Sega is what I'm saying here. Let's see. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there was no more animals and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. After a minute passed after the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there on the... You know, I should get rid of this. This is... There we go. That was annoying me. Sorry about that. Tails was running up the hill. Let's see. Then until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen with his back against Tails, with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him. If not acting as if he was totally oblivious to Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move. Ooh, so this had to have been a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feeling of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. I heard faint It's a fucking video game character. He's not in danger. I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling was in my guts, growing stronger. I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots. Just like that title image. Thought there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello. Do you want to play with me?" You know, really, the way you read that could be completely different. You know? Like, you could read it and be like, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" Or you could read it and be like, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" Like, you know, like, I'm just saying, this guy's spooking himself. Like, he could have read that in, like, a completely different connotation, you know? Or, you know, he could have read it like French, like V-Roy said, "Honhon baguette." Like, he could have done that, too. What is this poop? Sonic.exe. Do you want to play with it? At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level, with the level title now saying, "Hide and Seek." Oh my. Let's see here. Hide and Seek. This time, I was in Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. That is not what that means. A character looking at the screen is not breaking the fourth wall, unless they're directly, like, saying something. Can we watch the Sonic hentai instead? We're gonna watch Sonic.exe after this. So I pressed down on the arrow keys as hard as I could and made him run as fast as he could, a pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from Sonic Adventure 2 was playing as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Hey now, bud. Let me tell you, the best song from Sonic Adventure 2 isn't that one. It's what is it? Sonic Adventure, what the fuck is it called? Adventure 2, Knuckles theme. Where's this one? Is it the one that it's this one, yeah? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. It's only coming out of my right ear. I think this is just straight mono sound, which is fucking dumb. Ooh. It's fucking 6 minutes, oh my god. I didn't know it was that long. Alright, fuck this shit. Where's the good one? Where's the short one? Hold on. There we go. This is the good one. Here's the good one. Ooh. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Come, rougher than Knuckles. Jumps to them, rougher than Knuckles. Knuckles. I don't Knuckles. I'd rather flex my knuckles. It ain't hard to chuckle. Knuckles and Knuckles. Oh no. I'd like to rather flex my knuckles. Oh my god. Rougher than Knuckles, son. Ruffle than Knuckles. Ruffle those knuckles, bud. Alright. What is this? No, I don't want... That one's bad. Get that out of... Here's the good one. Suddenly, I heard that creepy laugh again. That awful Kelfka laugh. Right after 10 seconds had passed as I helped Tails run through the forest, and then started seeing flashes of Sonic popping up everywhere on the screen. Again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to that suspenseful, drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining up on him. Flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying. The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic and he had the black and red eyes again. Only this time, he had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as if he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox as he gained up on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene. The music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch and I kind of teared up myself, but then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic's as a grin slowly grew from his face as he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow, Desu. Wanna try again, fam?" And then that god-awful laugh came with it. Desu. I was so shocked by what had just happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do that to him? Man, this is hitting me right in the hyper-realistic feels. I totally agree with you. Man, this is some edgy shit. Too fast, boy. I'm too fast for you, Desu. Come, senpai, chase me through the woods. Chase me through the forbidden forest, please. I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the character select. The save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself, which is flickering with that red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding, his orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next. Wait. I got it. Alright. I got it. I'm just gonna play it every time. Trying to ignore it, I pick Knuckles next. The laugh came again and the screen cut to black again and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time the level said you can't run. If not, chuck off, fuck my knuckles, cuckles. Seriously, that'll be fucking ain't hard to chuckle. I fucking love that Knuckles video, it's so good. It's so fucking good. I think there's a fucking hack for that, like just a Knuckles hack. Alright. Let's see. The laugh came again and the screen cut to black again and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time the level said you can't run. I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch or a hack or some kind of sick, twisted joke. Or anything, really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. The next level looked much different. It had the ground of the Scrap Brain Zone, but the sky background looked like it was the main menu. The fact that this kid has played so much Sonic the Hedgehog that he knows all of this fucking things off the top of his head is a little sad. It had the dark reddish cloudy sky, but it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Gygas's theme right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound. I also noticed that Knuckles, flex my knuckles, looked just as afraid as Tails did, though not as much, but rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall just like Tails did and looked as if he wasn't sure about going on, but I made him move anyway. He ran down the straight pathway in the dark level, and as he did, the screen started to flicker red static a couple times, and then the maddening laugh came again. Eggman's is bae. Eggman's is top waifu, better than Sakura 2005. Good. Then, after a few seconds of running, I noticed several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible was going to happen to Knuckles. He looked nauseated walking down this blood-stained road, but I still kept him going. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes, and then red static appeared. When the static vanished, showing nothing but black screen with text saying, "Found you," I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What's going on? Dude, he's fucking Sonic. He runs like real fast, okay? And you said this one can fly. Like, it makes sense that he would be able to find Knuckles. Because Knuckles is like real slow, you know? Like, Sonic is just like run up to him, like real quick, you know? It's not that hard. Anyway, red static came again, and then I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was... Wait, what? Looked like he was panicking, and Sonic was nowhere to be found. And this time, that high-pitched squealing from the Silent Hills 1 final boss was playing. Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't, honestly. Why? Then you could kill Sonic. He's being a dick. Suddenly, Sonic appeared right behind Knuckles, and it appeared to be pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punch Sonic, but Sonic vanished in black pixelated smoke before I could even land a hit. That terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again, and then I made him punch again. The word "and" is in this like so many fucking times. Let's see here. Like I can't even find my bearings if I look off the screen. Sonic appeared again and again. Sonic vanished again, laughing. Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles, who was flexing his knuckles. Another cutscene played as Knuckles fell to his knees and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. And then in a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles and the screen went black with another distorted screech that lasted for at least 3 seconds. Another text message appeared. So many souls to play with. So little time. Would you agree? Yes. What the hell? Just what is going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game, but I was too scared to think that. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time the second file box had Knuckles in the TV screen. His red fur had darkened to a reddish gray, his dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too. Oh, is it not hyper-realistic blood? Because that's the only type of blood that I get spooked by. And he had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those are the actual characters trapped in those TV screens on the save file, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. Time to take a sippy, boys. Take a sippy, boys. Yiffertons. Too much yiff. So I shut off the game and took a break. Oh no, I dropped my headphone in my water. Oh no, this is not good. I hope it still works. I think I need to test if my headphone works. Hold on. Well, I can still listen to Knuckles, so this is a good thing. The water didn't break it. This is good. As long as I can listen to Knuckles flexing his knuckles, I'm good. Crying tears of blood. Let's see. Yada yada. I didn't want to believe it. So I shut the game off and took a break. I took a nap. Wish I hadn't. Because I then began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness, so I was under the light given off by a lamp that was hung above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us! Why did you give us to him? Ooh! And run away before he gets you too!" Their cries died out as I heard Sonic laugh. His laugh, it sounded a lot like the distorted Kefka laugh. A lot of fun to play with, kid. Just like your friend Kyle, though he didn't last long. I was scared and looked around for the source of the voice. Won't be long now until you join him and all my other friends. I saw him walking towards me, flickering in and out in several directions. You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others. There's no escape. When he grabbed me, I saw his bleeding black and red-eyed, grinning face. I woke up in a fright. I can't go on. I'm frightened. After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game. I don't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening, so I turned on the computer, turning on the game and selecting Robotnik next. Not Eggman's. Don't you shit with Eggman's. It's bad. Stop. Why does he sound like fucking Kermit? I don't know. These are the voices that they have. Don't ask me why. You've given me a frighten. God can't heckin' save you now, human. I still thought that was Wacky, playing as Robotnik, but anyway, the level titles appeared again, and this time it said... Dot. Which I found really freaky. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games, though it had the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were a dark grayish purple with animated candlelight, and a few dark bloodstains here and there. There was a dark red curtain hanging above the top part of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, that red curtain sways very slowly. But whenever you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. The music was oddly pleasant, a piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song. But I knew better. This was the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it wasn't in reverse. Yeah? Like, I love how the guy keeps playing the game. I know, right? He just keeps playing the fucking game. Like, to fucking break it. Like, your friend told you it's bad. You now know it's bad. Just fucking break it, you know? It's not that good of a Sonic game, I'm sure. It's a Sonic game, for fuck's sake. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face. His pingus was very suspicious, as if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation when I just left him standing. He turned his head to the left, and then to the right, at least twice, and then shrugs at me, as if he has no idea where he was or what was going on. Even though I was scared out of my mind about what was going to happen, I had Robotnik continue onward. He did his usual running animation. You know when you've beaten him at the end of a classic Sonic game and you chase him? As we were continuing going through the hallway. Then I stopped at a long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls have gotten darker and more reddish. The red torches are now an eerie blue. Then we landed onto another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or so it felt like. And then we headed down another flight of stairs. This was the much longer one that took at least 1 full minute. You know, this game sounds really boring if you're just walking down corridors for like a solid minute or two, you know? Like, that's too long to be walking nothing personnel. Like, it's too long. This is getting really personnel, guys. This is too personnel for me. And then I heard that horrid Kefka laugh again, and then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red, and the torches were a black flame now. When Robotnik landed onto the third hallway, I noticed he now looked really creeped out. Though he tried to hide it, I couldn't blame him. I was frightened, too. Suddenly, Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds, and then it showed me the most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing in the darkness where you could only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. And then, and when I say hyper-realistic, I mean it looked like so real you could actually see the lines of his fur. As if you could actually feel the fur touched on the screen. Yeah? Is that it? Is that what's happening? Is that what's happening, buddy boy? Ooh, spooky. Spooky shit. Look at this spooky shit, guys. Ooh, Google Images. Ooh, spooky. I can't. I'm spooked. Let's see, his face. Oh god, he had the most horrifying smile I've ever seen. And that's saying something considering I saw that image at the start of the game. His eyes are wide and black and once again crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic. And they were two small... There were two small dots in... and those black eyes staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of his face like the Cheshire Cat, except Sonic had fangs. Very sharp fangs, much like the werehog's teeth, except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish, and from the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips and fangs, as if he had ate some animal. My goodness. I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off it. It felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me, that face. It just took 10 seconds for it to itself into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times, and on the 3rd time I heard the Kelfka laugh, except this time it sounded distorted. Demonic, even. It went back to the image again, except this time there was the text again, though it was messed up, but it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God, I guess. It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic that when it hit me, I realized right there and then, this Sonic was a monster. A pure, evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster, and all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little toys, and the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, and the very hell his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed at Sonic, lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open in an unnatural length, revealing nothing but literally spiraling abysses of pure darkness before the red static came again, this time much louder and distorted, so loud that it hurt my ears. I yelled and grabbed my ears as the red static screeched for a good 7 seconds. Then it stopped and showed me nothing but a black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom? The Kelfka laugh now sounded more clear, as if Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times. I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the 3rd save file had an image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned all dull gray, his mustache drooped. He's got a sad mustache, boys. He's got so sad. Why is he such a sad boy? I feel bad for Kyle, he never asked for this. Kyle never asked for this. Let's see. And his mustache had drooped and had blackened. His glasses broke and blood was coming from them. From the glasses? That's weird. And he had a mere dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and I cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they're going through. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrible hedgehog, and always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. I sat there. Did you try to... Okay, most computers have like a little switch in the back. Right? Like, to turn the whole thing off. That's different from the power button, right? Now, if your computer isn't turning on, because, like, a power outage happened and you don't have a protection strip, what you should do is turn that off, wait, like, you know, anywhere between, like, 10 to 20 seconds, then just, like, flip it back on, press on. It's pretty good. Like, just do it. It gives the computer a chance to breathe, you know, it's useful. Anyway, let's see. Yada yada. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds. See, look, you waited the exact amount of time I suggested. Horrified by what had just happened. Try turning it back on, it's good. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play his game in more ways than one, and then, when he gets bored, he drags you into the game, literally drags you to hell, where he can play with you always. As his toy. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there. Yeah? Did you try getting a screwdriver to pry open your disk drive? Because, like, that would probably work. After I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard the voice right behind me, like a whisper.
Try to keep this, interesting for me, Tom? Huh?
I turned around to see where the voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling with bloodstains under its eyes. Ooh, this entire story is piss. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Teleports behind you, slices you in half. Nothing personnel, kid. That's what Tom should have done. Should have done that right there. Alright, let's watch, somebody actually took this creepypasta and then turned it into a game. And I'm not gonna play it because, like, it's not really so much a game as much as it is like a very long cutscene type experience. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna Google search it, because the author of you can download Sonic.exe. No, I don't want to watch Markiplier. I don't want to watch Teens React. I want to watch like the actual one. Maybe if I try Google. It's not really worth playing as much as it is worth watching. I think it's just better to watch it. An indie horror game. Wow, I guess I remember back when this wasn't the most popular thing, Sonic.exe, you could just type it in and find the original creators' videos, but I guess now it's just people reacting to it. Well, I'm not gonna watch somebody else's reaction video to react to that. That's a waste of my fucking time. So... Oh my god, it took like an hour for me to read that. Jesus fuck. Alright guys. I gotta switch back to spooky Halloween street. Yeah, there we go. Sonic.exe, no commentary. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna type that in while I look for it. Sonic.exe, no commentary. Let's try and find one with no commentary. Oh, here we go. I think I found one. Skip to 18 seconds to skip the intro of my video. Oh, okay. Alright. So apparently this guy here has it. I'll show his YouTube channel before we do this. Let me switch back over to the non-spooky stream. Okay. Alright, so this is... I'm gonna give credit to whoever this is. This is Godzilla-chan. This is their description. This is their playthrough, I suppose. So... let's give credit where credit is due. I appreciate that you put up this no commentary playthrough. Let's go ahead and get through it. Ooh. I'm real spooked, guys. Ooh. Ooh, did you see that? I like Robotnik's stance. He just looks real happy, you know? Ooh, spooky laugh, guys. Oh no. Is it actually gonna be like in real time? Like in the creepypasta it says like it's a straight minute of walking. Is it actually gonna be a straight minute of walking? I really hope not. Here we go. Oh no. Oh no. Catchy music. Oh. Is this audio okay for you guys? Is it too loud? I feel like it's too loud. Well, now there's no audio, so I guess it's fine. Sonic, no. Sonic, stop. Sonic, stop! Who fucking did that? Who fucking did that? Who fucking did that right now? Who fucking subscribed to me right when it fucking did that? Okay. Alright. Let's actually fucking do this. Take a sippy of my water, boys. Joseph.exe. Oh no. Tails, run. Tails, no. Oh. Tails is crying because he peed his pants, I guess. Oh. Oh. No, he ate his heart. Tails, you can fly. You bring up a good point. Why didn't he just fly away? I may be too slow, but you're... Fuck you. I couldn't think of anything clever. You're too slow, son. Get wrecked, kiddo. Look at Knuckles. Look at that swagger in that walk. Even Speedwagon's... Look at the swagger in that walk, you know? That's good shit. Oh no. I like how they use the most cartoony blood, like, ever. Ooh, punch, Knuckles. Yeah, get that punch. That big boy puncheroo. Punch him! Punch him, Knuckles! Get him! Here he comes. Rougher than Knuckles. The best of them, tougher than Knuckles. Punch him, Knuckles! I don't chuckle, I'd rather flex my knuckles. You're not flexing your knuckles enough, Knuckles. Come on. Wrecked. Wreckled. Wrecked.
You will die at my hands.
Ooh.
So many souls to play with. Sometime, would you agree?
Not Eggman's. He's my favorite Powerpuff Girl. Daddy, I'm scared. How can I be scared of this? Look at his fucking walk. How can I be afraid of this? He's so silly. Look at how cute he is. How can you take this seriously? Fucking look at this. And the voice acting was bad. I remember back when I looked at these, there were no voice actings because, like, the guy was updating the Sonic.exe file like every month or so, and there was no voice acting the last time I saw this. I thought it was much more effective when there was no voice acting, because then you had to put a voice to the images, you know, and that's way more scary. Here's just like a thing about horror for you horror buffs out there. The human brain will always think of something scarier than anything that someone can produce on screen or in a book. Like the voice that your head will give the text is way scarier than the shitty voice acting. It's a lot of static. He's doing the Naruto run. He's like that kid in high school. Oh. That's not very scary looking. I remember the original image that I saw when I was younger looked way scarier than this. Though I will say it is much more detailed. This is very detailed compared to the last picture. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was decent. That was decently spooky for like a second. then they fucked it up. Oh, is that it? Oh, I guess there's a...
Ready for round 2.
Yeah. Did the person who made this? Game over. Did the person who make this, is their name Allie? I'm not sure. Did they like do the voices? Okay. I see. I remember when this was the biggest shit. Honestly, having something being too detailed can make it fail. I agree. I agree. That was too detailed, and it didn't look good enough. Like, it was good, but it was too good, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't... This was not enjoyable. It was definitely not as good as the last time I saw this. And that's because it had updated since last. There was no voice acting, which I thought was much spookier. And I don't remember that scream. Somebody in the comments, I think you mentioned that the scream was, like, too silly. I thought the scream was way too silly, yeah. And the image that they chose for Sonic was, like, not good. Yeah, the resolution was also really weird. It looked squished, like somebody had squashed it, which I didn't like. But I do remember when this was, like, the biggest thing, Sonic.exe. I think that was when I was in high school. Maybe that was when I was 8th grade, actually. Middle school, maybe. Yeah, the scream was way too girly. Because that is a girly scream. If I recall, I'm pretty sure that scream belongs to Dark Tower, the game on the NES, or Super NES, whatever it was on. Super NES, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that's the scream from Dark Tower, but I'm not quite sure on that. So let me switch back to the spooky Halloween stream gifts. Why is that skeleton dancing so funny? Which one? There's 2 skeletons, by the way. Yeah, scary things need to be subtle. They do gotta be subtle, yeah. When you're dealing with spooking people, there's things you gotta do. You can't go over the top. You can't go over the top. You can't overdo it. Like, just don't be a tryhard about it, you know? Like, the human brain will always create something way scary. That's why suspense and, like, building up is way spookier than just, like, having something just on the screen all the time, you know? It's just much scarier for you to imagine what you're gonna see than, like, what you're actually seeing. Fucking the skeleton with gloves is my favorite thing. That dancing skeleton is top-notch. I love him. Gotta go with the Jaws method of horror. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Alright, guys. Thank you for joining me on this Halloween-y, spoopy stream. I may reopen the stream soon and do some Dragon Ball Xenoverse, because Dragon Ball is spoopy, I guess, fitting for Halloween. Come back later today, we'll do some Quiplash. Come back even later, we'll do some Chris Chan. Tony, I've been writing Creepypasta, and I wanted to know if you would read it sometime. I do not read fan content. I say it all the time, unfortunately. I don't like to read fan content. I generally don't even like to read creepypastas or stuff like this. I'm doing it today because, of course, it's Halloween. But I like to stick to reading crappy webcomics. But I won't do it, I'm sorry. That's for everybody to know. But, anyway, see you guys. Thank you for joining me, and have a lovely rest of your Halloween.